Hello everybody. This is the first time I've ever made a video like this. First time you can really see me too. I know I made that one video a few months ago with the door, but that was really it. But now you see me. It's the first time you're ever really able to do that, so I hope I don't look terrible on camera. This video is going to be about 5 different music videos with, you could say, some disturbing themes, but it's not going to be the popular ones everybody talks about, because in every single one of these videos, they always bring up IFHY's Twin to Come to Daddy. Sometimes they bring up, if you're lucky, they'll bring up One. Sometimes they bring up, like, Death Grips, some obscure metal bands that somewhere fit in there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about music videos that I haven't really seen anybody bring up in terms of the world of disturbing, frightening, possibly music videos with dark themes, dark content, shocking. And so I'm just going to lay a few ground rules and then we'll get started. So, rule 1. It only has to be the content in the music video. The song itself doesn't have to be necessarily that bad. You'll definitely see that with one of the later entries. You could probably tell which one on the thumbnail, but if you don't, I'll explain. Second rule is that there's going to be one per band. It has to be a lesser known one in terms of the music video. It doesn't have to be a lesser known song. And then pretty sure that's it. So, without any more hesitating, let's get started with that.
Number 1, Come As You Are by Nirvana.
When Nirvana decided to make Assuming Baby the artwork for their 1991 album Nevermind, not only did they create one of the most successful but controversial album covers of all time, they also, in a way, kind of symbolized what that album did for the music world, because it effectively provided the birth of mainstream grunge. They had achieved a little bit of success with their Bleach album in 1989, and some other bands had a similar style at that time, but nobody really pushed it out into the mainstream like Nirvana did. Now, not to say that it was their goal to go mainstream. They tried reverting it with their album In Utero 2 years later, but that really only made them more popular. But Nirvana really just became the world's biggest band for a little bit with Nevermind. And our next entry is going to be from Nevermind as one of the bigger hits. Come As You Are is one of the singles that they released for Nevermind, and the music video starts out very strangely. We've got all the band members performing in a room, but every so often, there's going to be some strange interjection in the middle. It starts out with a floating gun out in the water. After that, we've got Assuming Baby that isn't quite the one in the cover, but similar. And then on top of that, you've also got a limping dog with a cone on its head. And then at the end, not only do you have some strange video of eggs and sperm being laid over the band, you also get this strange visual of an eye, probably one of the band members, being cast over the background with water flowing in front, and the water really plays a key point in the entire music video. Nobody has really specified what it symbolizes, but considering that Nirvana is known for a lot of birth and death imagery, I feel like it probably represents the inside of the womb during pregnancy with amniotic fluid, I believe it's called, and everything that the baby subsists off of, with it swimming around before being born. The gun casting into the water might represent death, but overall, with so much room for interpretation with this music video, with the later ones, it's all around just a really interesting concept that I definitely felt like needed to be mentioned on this video. And on top of that, it's just a really good song. Probably one of the better ones on the album. I can't tell if I prefer that one or Territorial Pissings more, but it's really enough of Nirvana for right now, because we still need to move on to our next 4.
Number 2, IFHY by Tyler, the Creator.
Tyler, the Creator, is definitely an interesting focus when it comes to the rap world because he's definitely really introspective, and a lot of our music artists are, but he really takes it to a level that not many people do. With his album Chromacopia, it's really just a reflection on what he's done, like his personal life, growing up without a father, having motivations from his mother, and deciding to ultimately shed his past, shed everything else he's done, and focus on a new future, a future of light, where Chromacopia is a title meaning plentiful light. Chroma, light, copia, plenty. But what we're looking at right now is his early trilogy of albums. Now, I know that people talk about songs like Sarah, She, even sometimes Yonkers, Radicals too, for being disturbing, but only Yonkers has a music video out of them, and I feel like it would be... A lot of people already talk about that one, so I wanted to bring up one that doesn't really get talked about often. And it comes from his Wolf album. Now, one of the tracks is IFHY. I really can't tell you the name of it because look at the acronym. You know it, probably know what it means, but I can definitely tell you about the music video. Now, this video starts out with a version of one of the characters in the Wolf story, Samuel, as a doll in a toy house. And one of the strangest moments of the entire video starts with after he finishes making his own monologue, he just looks off into the distance. Like, you can even see it, something similar to it on the album, the CD album cover, and also one of the sleeves for the most recent release of the Wolf vinyl. And now, this entire song is basically about some weird guy, a stalker, basically, confronting someone that he's madly obsessed with and saying, I couldn't hate you more than I already do, but because I hate you so much, I love you so much too. And if you can't be with me, I can't let you be with anybody else, ever. And the music video actually gets really dark around the end. It's not terrible, but you can already see the Samuel doll busting down a door, walking right up to a woman doll that's already there. And if someone else hadn't intervened, the giant hand that you'll see later on in the video, things could have gotten dark. And said hand also burns a bit of Samuel's doll face, which is well-deserved, but definitely pretty creepy if you ask me. And the even creepier bit... Okay, well, maybe it's not creepy, but it's definitely shocking. So Wolf Haley, the person with the hand, takes out this Samuel figure out into the driveway, keeps walking, and then the music suddenly transitions into the second track on the album, Jamba, and while that happens, the doll for Samuel is thrown out onto the ground, and a car runs it over. So definitely a jump scare if you weren't expecting it, especially comparing that IFHY is a slower song, still dark but slow, and then Jamba goes all the way into just pure fast shock. It's really good, honestly, but definitely the scariest of the Tyler music videos, if you'd ask me. But I think we should move on now to get to another one.
Number 3, Emperor's New Clothes by Panic at the Disco.
I know, you're going to say, why is Panic at the Disco on a video about disturbing music videos? Most of their music is pretty poppy. And yeah, their music is pretty poppy, but what I wanted to bring up was Emperor's New Clothes. Now, Emperor's New Clothes is a song on Death of a Bachelor, which is the first completely solo album in Panic at the Disco's discography. Because Fever You Can't Sweat Out was the whole band, Pretty Odd was most of it, Vices and Virtues was just the 3, and then Too Weird to Live was just Brendan and Ryan. I think it was Ryan. But then Death of a Bachelor is his first completely solo effort, where he is Panic at the Disco. That will be continued for Viva Las Vengeance, and then also Pray for the Wicked. I know that's in reverse order, but I'm tired of taking takes for this. So, Emperor's New Clothes is a music video which continues The Local God, another song from the album right before it, Too Rare to Live, Too Rare to Die. In that video, he's on a hospital table and he ends up dying of not getting enough oxygen in his life support. So, at the beginning of this video, he ends up dying and floating to heaven, it seems like, but right halfway as he's about to get there, he immediately plummets down and enters what can only be described as not hell, but at least a purgatory. And in this purgatory, he finds there's skulls everywhere, and then he also notices his body is rapidly changing, and slowly he becomes this sort of strange gray gargoyle demon. It's really weird, and the choppy movements he makes all throughout the video really accentuate how grotesque the whole situation is, basically. And then at the end, he even sprouts wings and goes completely crazy from there. And I don't remember which song on which album, but I believe that another one after this does continue the story that was created by Local God and Emperor's New Clothes. And so that is Panic at the Disco for you. They know how to make a pop song, but they can also terrify you with their music videos. Also, a shout out goes to Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time on the same album, which features a woman seducing Brendan Urie before eventually killing and eating him, revealing herself as a giant tentacle monster, copying herself to be Brendan Urie, and then going out to a party to what can only be assumed as repeating the same process, which played for comedy, but if you think about the concept, it is so dark, it is just wow. Now, on to my lucky number 4. Great band, by the way, coming up next.
Number 4, Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough for the Two of Us by My Chemical Romance.
If you're asked to name one emo rock band, the first answer that comes out of many people's mouths is My Chemical Romance. Their music has aged really well, they're probably my favorite band right now, and both of those are for a good reason. Right now, I'm probably going to cut this short and the rest short because I've been talking too much on the other ones. And so, let's get started. Raise your language this. I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love is their debut studio album. And it's basically a collection of songs about just being in a dark state of mind. They're all raw, they're all emotional, mostly because most of them are pretty relevant to where the band members were in life at that point, because Gerard was having issues with his body, he was constantly paranoid, and he was still coattailing off the trauma of watching the September 11th attacks. And this is a reflection of all that darkness. The second track of that album, Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough for the Two of Us. Sometimes I get the name mixed up, sometimes I say both, but it's a music video. It isn't officially uploaded by anything MCR right now because licensing issues, but we do have a slightly lower quality fan re-upload. It's unofficial, and we'll be going off that for the video. Now, the music video starts with two halves. The first half is a video of the band performing in a completely blank room. They're all doing really well. They're all basically just making the song. They're playing the song. But the other half, that is where things decide to get disturbing. That's where they get dark. It's based off of the Japanese horror movie called Audition, and it's about this perverted old man deciding to create a game. He's going to interview different women, and whichever one he likes the most is going to be his new bride. But luckily for the world, the person he picks is actually a violent psychopath and a serial killer. He notices this one night when she's acting very strange in the bedroom, and when she notices that he noticed, she completely goes off and decides, stop planning, I'm just going to kill him tomorrow. So when he wakes up and has a drink, it turns out it's been drugged, and he passes out right on the floor. And so this woman comes out and basically takes syringes and injects them into his tongue, to different parts of his body, and at the end, even his eyes. And don't worry, I am not showing the eyes part. I really couldn't bear standing to see it too. But that is really what makes it so scary, because it's already a really dark song about succumbing to your addictions, like drinking, pills, medications. But on top of that, such a music video with a dark premise makes it even worse. But hey, not that I'm complaining. I'm going to say, though, big shout out to OnGameJewel at _Lux_games. She mostly goes by My Chemical Lux now. She's a really good friend of mine. She was actually the person introduced me to MCR and Panic at the Disco and a lot of different music groups I like, and she helped me remember what this music video was, because I had honestly forgotten which song it was attached to. Knew it was on Bullets, but I couldn't tell if it was this one or Vampires Will Never Hurt You, which was the track that comes right after this. And so I just wanted to thank her for helping me find it. So I'll put her social media Game Jolt link in the description. So check her out, definitely. If you like art, if you like different fandoms, Five Nights at Freddy's, Arcane, Scott Pilgrim, a whole lot of different groups, then definitely give her a follow. She makes great art, honestly, and good friend too. So on to our final entry. This is going to be a very long one, so buckle in.
Number 5, All Nightmare Long by Metallica.
Metallica. What is there to be said about Metallica that someone in the world hasn't already said before? They're probably the forefront of metal music, because it's in their name. They were the first people to come up with thrash, and they've made a lot of albums over the past long time, and definitely some of those music videos that they made come with some pretty dark imagery. I know that I said I wouldn't do one earlier, but that's because I'm not doing one. I'm doing a different song released later on in their career that people are definitely missing out on, because we've got the old and we've got the kind of in the middle, but what I'm looking for is the new. Death Magnetic is their 2008 comeback album. Basically, they decided to return to their roots after the commercial failure of Saint Anger, and what a lot of people say is Metallica's low point. So, Death Magnetic had to come up with a lot of long songs, a lot of solos, and probably one of their longer songs is on this album, All Nightmare Long. Now, the story of the song is all about the Lovecraftian entities called the Hounds of Tindalos, but the music video goes in a completely different direction while still keeping the same horrifying, terrifying charm to it. Now, this video starts out as a Soviet presentation, an old movie reel, basically about discovery of this strange living spore. It revives dead cells, and so originally they try it out on a dead cat, but the dead cat grows up, and attacks the people in the laboratory. And so the Soviet Union, this is 1948, just came off of the World War II, so their plan is to take this spore, build balloons to release it onto the US, and use barium to kill the spores once the deed's been done. And so, at the end of this section, transitions to 1978, where balloons are being flown all around the US and parts of Europe, and these different spores are turning everybody into zombies, which slowly kill everyone. And we even see a graphic where skulls flow all around the US, killing basically everybody. And you can even see some CGI of the zombies that they're talking about in the video. It's really wild, honestly. I know Metallica's really dark songs, like One, like I was talking about earlier, but still, I didn't think they'd go that far in a music video. And so it's really just crazy. Especially at the end, though, because we have to see a live action bit where a beheaded body starts animating itself in the Soviet territory after leaving the Soviet occupied United States, having just been cleaned up and repopulated from the mass zombie apocalypse localized entirely within the United States. And that body attacks everybody and then leaves the Soviet station, the laboratory, and whatever happens after that is completely left up to the viewer's imagination, which is honestly a really dark way to end the video. I kind of like when music videos do that, when they're supposed to have a dark theme, when they go on and have a big cliffhanger at the end, like, will things get worse? Kind of like how I was talking about earlier with Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time. I never thought I'd connect Panic at the Disco with Metallica, but here we are. And so, at the end of the day, Death Magnetic for you, All Nightmare Long for you, and that is all 5 of the videos I plan on covering today. I know I could have made this shorter, but this is my first video, so I have a lot to improve on. So I hope you enjoyed this. I strongly advise you to stick around because I am going to make videos like this in the future. Almost all of my content isn't like this at all because some of it's music, but most of it isn't. So I'm just going to cut this outro short and say, just stay here and be prepared because I'm already planning a sequel. I've already got some other videos in mind talking about some artists that I like, artists that I don't really like. And so, yeah. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying this long. And I have to go, so goodbye. Have a wonderful time, and I hope you liked it.